Have you ever wondered about the invincible facade of Prince William? For years, the media has painted a picture of Prince William as the perfect future king. He's been their golden boy, the embodiment of an ideal monarch. The press's portrayal of him has been nothing short of immaculate. They've consistently defended his image and actions, guarding his reputation with a fervour that's been, quite frankly, formidable. There's been a persistent narrative, one that's been expertly spun and maintained. The media has held up Prince William as a beacon of royal propriety, a paragon of virtue, and a model of kingly decorum. He's been celebrated for his charm, his grace, his royal lineage, and his poised demeanour. He's been presented as a symbol of stability and continuity, a reassuring presence in an ever-changing world. But this narrative is not without its cracks. It's not entirely bulletproof. The media, the very architects and guardians of this image, are beginning to show signs of shifting loyalties. There's a subtle change in the wind, a quiet but noticeable shift in the narrative. The golden boy image of Prince William, once so carefully crafted and diligently maintained, is starting to tarnish. And it's not the critics or the naysayers who are bringing out the polish, it's the media themselves. The very same media that once hailed him as the future king, that once defended him at all costs, that once painted him as the flawless heir to the throne. They're the ones who are now beginning to question, to probe, to cast a more critical eye. But the golden boy image is starting to tarnish, and it's the media themselves who are bringing out the polish. As the media's golden boy finds himself under increasing scrutiny, one can't help but wonder what this means for the future king and the monarchy. Because if the press's favour can change, so can the public's perception. And that could change everything. So stay tuned, because this is only the beginning. The winds of change are blowing, and they're icy cold for Prince William. Just like the British weather, the media climate is unpredictable, and it seems a storm is brewing. A storm that has the power to shake the very foundations of the image meticulously crafted for the prince. This storm goes by the name of Liz Jones. A long-time royal supporter, Jones has recently published a column that has sent shockwaves through the royal circles. She's articulated a sentiment that's been simmering beneath the surface, a growing discontent with William's behaviour. Jones has been bold, she's been critical, and she's been honest. She's pointed out that the prince's behaviour is beginning to leave her, and many others, feeling cold. But it's not just the chill of her words that should concern William. It's the fact that she's not alone. The murmurs of discontent are growing louder. The whispers of criticism are becoming a roar. And here's the rub. The very media group that once acted as William's shield, protecting him from the slings and arrows of public scrutiny, now seems poised to expose him. The same outlets that once painted idyllic pictures of the perfect family in the hayfields are now sending a different message. It's not a message of support, not a message of adoration, but a warning. A warning that says, "Careful, William, we're watching you." This shift in tone should be a wake-up call for the prince. The media has the power to raise, and just as easily, the power to bring down. If the Daily Mail, a publication known for its royal support, is beginning to distance itself, it's a sign of a changing tide. So what does this mean for Prince William? It's a question that's hanging in the air, a question that's yet to be answered. But one thing is certain, the winds of change are blowing, and they're icy cold for Prince William. And as we all know, when the wind changes direction, it's often a prelude to a storm. The media giveth, and the media taketh away. A simple truth, yet one that seems to be playing out in real time in the life of William. The media, once his faithful ally, is now beginning to show signs of a cold shift. It's a well-known fact that the press can be fickle, their favour as fleeting as a summer breeze. And it seems that for William, that breeze might be turning into a chilling wind. For years the media held him up high, a golden boy in the literal sense. They painted a picture of a flawless future king, a beacon of hope and stability. But as we all know, nobody is perfect, and cracks are bound to show. And oh, how they're beginning to show. The very same media that once shielded William, that defended him at all costs, seems to be getting ready to expose him. The tide is turning, the pendulum is swinging, and when the media swings, it swings hard. One moment, they're your biggest cheerleaders, the next, they're your harshest critics. And what could this mean for William? Well, the potential consequences are vast. The media's favour can make you or break you. It can raise you to the heavens or drag you through the mud. And right now, it seems like William is on the brink of a steep descent. The media's shift could mean a harsh spotlight on every move he makes, every word he utters. It could mean a loss of privacy, a loss of the protection he's enjoyed for so long. And ultimately, it could mean a loss of the public's trust and favour. Once the media turns on you, it's a tough climb back up. And for someone like William, who's been on a pedestal for so long, the fall could be hard, and the climb back up even harder. The pedestal is wobbling, and the media are already sharpening their knives. The media giveth, and the media taketh away. And for William, it seems the taking away might just be beginning. Imagine a morning where the headlines no longer protect you, but mock you. Picture this. William, once the media's golden boy, now finds himself the object of their scrutiny. A morning where his cup of tea, once a comforting ritual, now comes with a side of dread. Because each sip is accompanied by the bitter taste of negative press, each headline a potential attack. The protective cocoon spun by the media, the one that once shielded him from criticism, is beginning to unravel. A future where he's no longer a revered figure but a target is looming on the horizon, and this shift, this transformation from celebrated to criticised, it's not only going to affect his public image but his personal life as well. For years, he's been able to navigate the stormy seas of royal life with the press as his compass, guiding him towards favourable winds. But what happens when that compass starts pointing south? When the very entity that used to shield him from the storm becomes the storm itself? What does the world look like when the media, once his ally, becomes his adversary? The press, once his knight in shining armour, now the dragon he must slay. The morning paper, once a source of pride, now a reminder of how far he's fallen. This isn't just about his reputation being tarnished. This is about the very foundation of his life being shaken. The security he once felt, the confidence he had in his position, all of it threatened by the shifting tide of public opinion. And so, as each morning dawns, the dread sets in. Because he knows that with each passing day, the media is waiting, ready to pounce, ready to expose his every move, his every misstep. The comfort of the morning tea is replaced with dread, as each headline could be a new attack. The once cherished ritual, now a reminder of the precarious position he finds himself in, a morning tea of dread indeed. What happens when the untouchable becomes the target? There's a saying that goes, pride comes before a fall, and if William isn't careful, he might be heading for a most spectacular tumble. The media, once his shield and sword, is gradually turning into a ticking time bomb. The very machine that elevated him to a pedestal of reverence is now preparing to pull the rug from under his feet. Imagine the once golden boy, the media's darling, now scrutinised and picked apart by the very entities that once sang his praises. It's a shift that could potentially shake the foundations of his public image, perhaps even his self-perception. And as the media's narrative changes, so too does the public's perception. The ripple effect could be catastrophic. One can't help but wonder if William is ready for the onslaught. The media is a powerful beast, their words and images shaping the narrative, influencing public opinion. Once the darling, the untouchable, he now stands on the precipice of a dramatic fall from grace. The media, like a pack of wolves, is ready to pounce. The perfect family in the hayfields imagery is being replaced with a stark reality. The press, once his staunch ally, is now scrutinising him with a critical eye. The fall from grace can be swift and brutal, and the landing is rarely ever soft. The signs are already there. The media's tone has changed, their words now carrying a bite. The scrutiny is intensifying, the criticism growing louder. The pedestal is wobbling, and the knives are being sharpened. It's a long way down, and the landing promises to be anything but soft. So, what happens when the untouchable becomes the target? We're about to find out, and it's not going to be pretty. The golden boy is losing his shine, and the pack is ready to pounce. So, buckle up, Wales, because the tea the tabloids will serve you next is going to be ice cold.